This is the second part of the session for September the 29th for ELT125, section 3. I'm sorry I hadn't started recording, guys. All right. Can we go over the answers? Yeah. Okay. All righty. So I would ask for some participants, such as Valentina Negrete. Are you here? Present, willing, and able? Valentina? Gabriela Sasso, are you ready to participate in the following exercise? Fernanda Navarro?
Yes.
Fernanda, can you take up the second one, please?
Animal. Okay. So I think it is animal.
All right, and where will you place the primary stress?
In ni.
All right.
I'm sorry.
And the second syllable?
No, in the first one.
In the first one, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting word, right? Animal. Interesting. So in this case, is this following the maximum onset principle?
No, teacher.
I would say it is right. No, right? It is not. Okay. So we have an exception here. Let's take a look at number 3. Any volunteer, such as Elizabeth Loyola, maybe? Thank you, Fernanda, by the way. What do you think about the next?
So I think it has curate 2 syllables, curate, and the primary stress goes in the first syllable.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Curate. Interesting word, right? Does it make sense? We have a nucleus here. We have a nucleus here composed by a diphthong, right? Curate. And then in this case, the intervocalic is placed as the onset of the second syllable. Curate, right? Let's take a look at the next one. Let's see if this clarifies a little bit more. Anyone interested?
Me?
You are going to give me where?
Okay, so Daniela and then Jolie, is that all right with you?
Okay.
All right.
Plosive, I think that it's 2 syllables and is plosive. And the stress is in the first syllable. Plosive.
All right. Plosive. All right. Plosive. We have an intervocalic here, consonant sound that goes as the onset for the second syllable, plosive. No, plosive, right? Plosive. All righty. Jolie, take the next one, please. Number 5.
Yes, it's like unexpected.
Yes.
The primary stress is like unexpected. I think is unexpected. Unexpected. It's a tricky word because the stress can be in the last one and the middle. Yes, but I think it's in the middle. And we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 syllables. And the stress is in the middle, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. I don't know. Let's take a look. Unexpected. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
All righty. All righty. In Daniela's nightmare, you can see here that there's no syllable boundary here because we have the primary stress indicating that this is one syllable and this is another one, right?
Right.
All right.
All right.
All righty. Let's take a look at number 6. Anyone interested?
I can, teacher.
Go, William, please.
There are 3 syllables, and I think the stress is in the second one.
Established. All right. Stress, primary stress on the second syllable. And we have this combination here as the onset. So this becomes part of the second syllable and not the part of the coda for the first one. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Elizabeth Mejias, would you like to work with the next exercise?
Okay. Illegal. It has the stressed syllable and the that one, legal, maybe.
All right. All right. All right. Illegal. Excellent. Right? Illegal. O comes the onset of the second syllable, the second heavy open syllable, right? Number 8. What about Diana Marin? Diana, would you like to participate?
Yes, I'm here. I think that there are 3 syllables, and the primary stress is in the middle, and it is specific.
All right then. Specific. Yes. Yes. All right. And the final one. What about Camilo? Camilo, are you here? Pelera. Pelera. Yes. No? Yes?
Yes. Hello.
Yes. Anytime.
International. Is international 5 syllables with stress on na, international, and I think it's inter with this stress international.
Thank you so much, Camilo. Right? Thank you so much. International. International. So in this syllabification, or in this process of syllabification, we have this sh, which is in an intervocalic position. We have a in between the trap and in between the schwa, and this is not placed as the onset of this syllable, so we don't say shun, internation, right? But it's this consonant sound is placed as the coda in the third syllable. So the point in this exercise is that this maximum onset principle can help us to understand how syllables are divided, but in general, English has many exceptions, and this is just one theory that somehow it tries to explain how syllables are divided. Okay, so that's something that I want you to consider. This is just one theory, and it doesn't have a. This is not the end of the world, right? Because if we cannot understand how syllables are syllabified, at least we can understand some theories that deal with the explanation. If we go back to this, this syllabus right here, just to recycle some concepts. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Just to recycle some content. If you remember the concepts of heavy, light, and open and closed. Do you remember? Are you familiar with these concepts? Closed and or open syllable, and a heavy or light syllable. Does it ring a bell?
No, not for
Okay.
me.
Not for you?
Excuse me, teacher. Could you repeat, please?
Yes. Let me show you a slide. It says heavy, light, close, and open. So I can tell you about this and see if you are familiar with these concepts. All right. Syllables can be described in terms of if they are open or closed, right? Or if they are heavy or light. Okay, so an open syllable. An open syllable is one that has no final consonant or no coda. For example, in the word limit, limit. The word limit is composed by two syllables. The first one, le, has no coda. We have the onset and the nucleus and no coda. Right? So this syllable, li, would be called an open syllable. The second one, mit, ends in a consonant in the coda. Right? So this one, mit, should be called a closed syllable. So if it has a coda, it's closed. If it doesn't have a coda, as the first one, li, is an open syllable. So open if it ends in a vowel sound or a diphthong. Closed if it ends in a consonant sound. Okay, that's one classification for syllables, open or closed. And the second classification for syllables is if the syllables are heavy or light. A light syllable is a syllable containing a vowel sound which is a short vowel sound. That is, for example, a trap, a wedge, a short o, a, for instance, a short e. Is that a rooster, right? E. Yeah. So these are short vowel sounds. So if you find a syllable containing as the nucleus short vowel sound, so that syllable is going to be called a light syllable. Also, if a syllable has a non-branching rhyme, or a non-branching onset, it's going to be considered a light syllable. Branching means that there is more than two or more consonant sounds. So if you have 2 or more consonant sounds here, it's going to be called heavy. If it has only one consonant sound, it's going to be called light.
Okay.
One consonant. Okay, so that's pretty much it in terms of heavy. Sorry, in terms of light. In terms of a heavy syllable will have as the nucleus, right, a long vowel sound, meaning, for example, ah, sorry, let me get this out of the way. O, u, e, all of these are called long vowel sounds. So whenever you have a long vowel sound as the nucleus, the syllable will be called a heavy syllable. And the other possibility is that the syllable contains 2 or more consonant sounds either in the coda or in the onset. So for example, if you have C, that means consonant, consonant, vowel sound, and consonant, this is going to be called heavy syllable because the onset has is a branching onset. Branching means that there's more 2 or more consonant sounds. For example, this is also going to be called a heavy syllable because it has a branching coda. Okay? This is going to be called a heavy syllable because it has a long vowel sound. This can be called a heavy syllable because it has a long vowel sound as the nucleus. So there are 2 important factors for to call a syllable a heavy syllable. 1, it should have a long vowel sound or a branching coda or a branching onset. Remember, branching means 2 or more consonant sounds. For example, in the word strike, we have a consonant sound, a consonant sound, and a consonant sound. And then we have the diphthong, which is the nucleus, and then we have a consonant sound. And this is one word, but it's also one syllable. So it's a one syllable word. So this syllable, do you think it's light or heavy? What do you think?
Heavy.
Heavy.
It's a heavy syllable, right? Because of the number of consonant sounds placed in the onset. It's a branching onset, right?
Teacher?
Yes, sir?
And I could say, for example, in this case with a strike, strike is a closed and heavy word, a heavy syllable, contain
Exactly.
a heavy and closed syllable, right?
Exactly. That's right. That's correct. It's a heavy and closed syllable. heavy and closed syllable. You got it. You got it correctly. Exactly. So these are four words or elements that could be applied when we are describing a syllable. So they can be either heavy or light, or closed and open. All right. So to be called heavy, it can have a long vowel sound or a branching onset or a branching coda. Either you're having a heavy syllable. You don't have necessarily to have both things at the same time. Okay. Now let's see if we can apply this to the exercise that you worked with. In the first case, my, do you think this is an open or a closed syllable?
Open.
Open.
Open. And the next one?
Closed.
Close.
Closed. Is the first one a heavy or light? What do you think?
Light.
Okay. And the second one?
Light to no. Light. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's skip and let's go to number 5. The third syllable. What do you think?
It is closed.
Is close.
Closed. All right.
And heavy.
It's heavy.
And it's heavy. All right. All right. All right. What about the second one in number 6?
Teacher.
Yes,
Is
sir?
the only problem in this case like you have the e, and you say that when we have a sound like in the word, it could be light because a is a short sound. So
Yes. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think because yes, we have a short vowel sound as a nucleus, but then we have a branching onset. So we should consider it a heavy syllable because yeah, there are two consonant sounds as part of the onset.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Sure. Yeah. Anytime.
I have other question, teacher.
Yes, sir.
In the first example, in minus, we said it's a open and a light syllable.
Open and light syllable. Yes.
Yes. So if we have two short vowel sounds, it's not important is if they are together. If are just short vowel sounds, is a light syllable.
Yes, if there are two short vowel sounds, as we're comparing the two syllables, right? My and nus.
Yes, in the first, my.
Okay, in the first.
But that is a diphthong or not?
Yes.
Yes.
But still, well, there are different positions on diphthongs. As I don't know if you have a very good memory. I mentioned this last semester, but there are different positions from phoneticians about how to consider diphthongs as one single vowel unit or two sounds that are combined, but eventually can be considered separately. And I told you that for this class, we were going to follow the concept that diphthongs are considered one sound unit. So we're not going to divide them, and we're going to consider them as one single unit, as one phoneme. Okay? So,
teacher.
Yes.
And if is just one sound unit is considered like a short sound or a long sound, because I could say I. but if I cut I is A and E and are short vowel sounds. But if I mix this, is a more it's a more long sound.
Yeah, it is a longer phoneme. Totally agree with that. Because in this combination, we are gliding from one initial sound to a final vowel sound. Totally agree with you in that. But from the theoretical point of view, this I, it should be considered as the nucleus for a light syllable. I understand the point that in terms of length, it should be placed or considered as equal as maybe a or o in terms of duration or length. And I do agree with you on that. But as we need to consider different positions, and you need to define which position you're going to take, the diphthongs are going to be considered whenever they are placed in syllable, in a non-branching syllable, right? Because in this syllable we have only one consonant sound and not two, three, or more, right? In this case, we're going to consider this as CV, consonant vowel sound, and the vowel sound as a short one. So this is going to be considered a light syllable.
Okay.
Unless you have the diphthong and you have this situation, or the diphthong and you have this situation, and in this case, we should be considered obviously, right? Yeah, a heavy.
Okay.
But that,
Interesting word with diphthongs.
yeah, it's a very good question, because there are different positions on this, but since there are many positions, at some point you need to define one position on this topic, particularly when there are many theories that try to explain syllabification, and at some point you need to decide which road you're going to take, because you cannot pay attention to everyone saying we need to do this in this way, or we need to do the same thing in a different way, right? So that's why at some point we need to define which way we're going to consider diphthongs, and we're going to consider them as the nucleus of a light syllable, unless we have, this syllable structure as I try to draw on the right position of the slide. Okay. Okay, so that's so much about the syllable. The syllable is an interesting but complex topic, and this is going to be the last session in which we're dealing with the topic. We're getting back um, to the lexical stress in the following sessions, right? Particularly syllable stress in, I think we talked about the use of suffixes, right? At some point, we talked about the use of prefixes, and I'm going to ask you to do the following task in order for you to get some practice. For instance, I think some of you already sent me some material, right? And you are already an expert on that. For example, I selected gender equity in the classroom. Some ideas on how to minimize gender bias in our teaching practice and curriculum. Okay, this is a website. It's a blog, actually. Okay, someone who deals with gender equity in the classroom. I think it's this one. Yeah, so I copied and pasted this in a PowerPoint presentation. that I'm going to show. I'm going to share with you. And I want you to do the following thing, the following exercise. So I'm going to ask Fernando Ramirez to read the first paragraph. And then I'm going to ask someone else in the room, okay? Fernando, are you with us today?
Sorry, I don't know. Escuché mal.
I'm
No.
calling your spirit. Okay, Fernando,
Yeah.
can you read the first paragraph, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
For 2 decades, I worked in a public school, and when it comes to female student in the classroom, I've noticed a trend in the past. When I observed primary grade classroom, a good number of girls would routinely raise their hands, share their opinion and ideas, and volunteer to read aloud. Now I observe 7th and 8th grade and high school classes, and there is a change that starts around 7th grade. Female students are much quieter, and less outspoken than they were in primary grades.
Thank you so much, Fernando. So now, sir, seven. Okay, just a quick feedback. Remember this 7th, because that's the difference between the number, the cardinal number 7 and the ordinal number 7th.
7th.
And yes, 8th. All right, 7th and 8th. It's difficult to say it, but that's the only different sound. When you say 7, 7th, 8, 8th. Okay, all right. Now, where would you place the lexical stress or the primary stress on this word? And this is a question for everyone, right?
Teacher?
Mm-hmm.
For example, I pronounce that word routinely, I think, in the feds for me.
Okay, in the third. What about the rest of you?
I think it's in the one at the middle, routinely.
Okay, routinely.
Teacher, that word comes from routine?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Okay. I think in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I agree with you. Routinely, because routine, and when you add "ly," it doesn't change the stress placement. All right. What about the following? Where would you place the stress, the primary stress?
In the last syllable, volunteer.
Okay, in the last one. Is everyone all right with that?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes, all right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You agree? Excellent. Volunteer. I do agree as well with you. Volunteer. What about this one?
I think in the second syllable.
The second one.
Right.
Is this right for you? So outspoken. Outspoken, yes?
Outspoken, right.
Okay. I do agree with you. An outspoken person. Someone who is very direct, right? You express your opinion. You don't actually, you're not concerned if you are hurting other people, but you just say what you think. You're an outspoken person. Outspoken. Yes, I do agree with you. Can some volunteer read the next paragraph? For example, Nelson Parra, are you there?
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
All right. Would you like to read the next section?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
What's behind this unsettling shift?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. During poverty, children seems heavily influenced by the traditional gender norms amplified in pop culture. Education research has found that the stereotypes of assertive male and passive female are often reinforced in our schools and in our very classrooms. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Commercial title like a girl both captures and disrupts that very gender stereotype.
Thank you so much, Nelson. So what do we have here? Where would you place a lexical stress here, or the primary stress? What do you think?
In the middle.
Second syllable.
Second syllable. So right after the prefix, right after un. Okay.
Right.
Unsettling.
Yes.
All right. Do I agree with you? Do you agree with you? Excellent. What about this one?
Maybe at the beginning, influenced.
First syllable?
Yes, I think so.
I'm agreeing with Daniela.
You agree. All right. I agree with her too. Influence, not influence. All right. Influence, first syllable.
Right.
What about the next one? What do you think? This question is for everyone in the room, right? You're all welcome to participate.
Amplified in the first one.
I think in the ending.
So no. in the first or in the last one?
No.
I think that in the first. I'm not sure. I think.
Me too. In the first.
In the first. All right.
Yes, so, I'm agree with Daniela. No.
Okay, so I agree with Daniela too. So amplified and not amplified. Amplified, yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. What about the next one?
Stereotypes.
I think in the third one.
In the third one, all right. Stereotype. Stereotype, yes?
I think that is stereotypes.
Yeah. Stereotypes.
Stereotypes, all right. So the first one you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. The first one. What about that one?
I think in the
second assertive.
The second, assertive. All right. All right. Assertive. Assertive. All right. Excellent. I agree with you as well with this one. What about this one?
In the first, I think.
The first one. How many syllables can you find this one, by the way?
And the second?
Oh, no. Yeah. Reinforced.
Reinforced in the second.
The second one. So it's reinforced. The point is that the word enforced is one word, enforce. Enforced, we have this suffix right here, right? And re is prefix. So re is one thing. In is another one. Re is one syllable. In is another one. Force.
And the third one?
Okay, in the third one.
Yeah. 4.
4. All right. All right. Do you all agree? No?
I'm not
Yes.
agree.
Okay,
No, in the
reinforce.
second.
I think in the second one.
The
Yeah.
second one. The
Rain
second one.
in.
Rain.
In.
In.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that the word is reinforced.
Yeah, same as Daniela. Me too.
Yes.
Mm, all right.
It is in
So
the
we
second.
should not be talking about the second syllable. We should be talking about the
I think
Third
that
one.
in the last one,
last one, right?
reinforced.
Yes, the last one, the third syllable. All right.
Okay.
Okay. And finally, this disrupts or disrupts. What do you think?
Disrupts. I think fats. The fats.
The first?
I think that is
Disrupt.
disrupts in
the
the
second
last
one.
one. Yes.
The last one. Okay.
I mean, in the last one, because it's just 2 syllables. Disrupt.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. 2 syllables, and the last one is the one most prominent. Disrupt. Okay, disrupts. All right. And do you have time to finish the last paragraph, or do we?
Yes.
Okay. Can anyone volunteer to read it?
Me.
Thank you. Go on, please.
Gender disparity participation. So what about our classroom? In my many observations of middle and high school classrooms, male students often lead and dominate classroom discussions. They raise their hands more often to answer questions than female students, and they volunteer more frequently to read aloud their reading or the class text. According to research by Fengshu Liu, because of this, teachers often unconsciously rely on male students and their target or go-to responders and volunteers. The result is that girls are then called on less frequently, compounding their silence and resulting in united gender bias in instructional practices.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Quite a long paragraph. A trick to pronounce the word that you paused at some point, this one. So does it look similar to any other word that you know? For example, look at the last section. It's an ED, right?
Yes.
So maybe the word can be separated into this being a suffix, and maybe this looks like a prefix as well. An, right? Have we seen this before?
Unintended.
Unintended, right? So intend, unintended, and then unintended. So you separate, exactly, unintended. So you separate, you break down the word into the root and the prefix or suffixes that are present, and you take the root intend, then intended, and then unintended. So that if you break down the word, it's easier to pronounce it, right? Than if you face and try to pronounce the word from the very beginning. So an easy one. Where do you place the primary stress in this word?
In what word, teacher?
In the first one, in the second paragraph. Sorry, in the last paragraph, the one that is underlined.
Observations in the middle.
There are 4. So what's the middle? There are 4 syllables. In the?
In the 1, 2, and in the third.
The third. Do you all agree? Third? Yes, William?
I'm
all right?
agreeing with Daniela.
Okay, I agree with Daniela. All right, I agree with Daniela too. Observation, third syllable. What about this one?
In the first one, research.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, some people place the stress on the first syllable to use it as a noun, research. And the same people place the stress on the second syllable, research, to use it as a verb. And some people don't care. Some people say just research for noun and for a verb, all right? So you will find this case with this specific word. Some people make the difference, research, and others, yeah, just.
I think that maybe in this case is research, not research.
Right.
Yeah.
In the second, I think then. I'm confused.
According to, okay, that's a good example because you find to usually before a verb, right?
Yes.
But yeah, but according, the prepositions are according to, because just like in Spanish, we say de acuerdo a, exactly, de acuerdo a.
Como un estudio, recuerdo como un estudio o una investigación.
Exactly, you got it. So according to study, excellent. According to study.
So in this case, it could be research, right?
Exactly. According to, I mean, for the people who make the difference, for the speakers to make the difference between a noun and a verb, shifting the stress to the first syllable for nouns and to the second syllable for verbs, according to research, will be the correct answer. But as I was telling you, some people just use research for noun and verb, and they don't really mind. Okay, but if you want to make the difference, research for noun, research for verbs. Exactly. This tough word, what do you think?
Unconsciously in the second one. Unconsciously.
Okay, in the second one?
Conscious.
Because conscious is also the stress is in the first syllable.
Exactly.
I'm agreeing.
Yes.
I'm agreeing.
Okay, so you agree with her. I agree with her too. Okay, unconsciously. All right. Un is a prefix that we already found before, and li is a suffix that we already found somewhere before, right? In routinely, and unconscious in unintended. All right. Okay. I think this is the last one, if I'm not mistaken. No. Okay, the last two. This one and this one.
Okay. In compounding, I think it's in the second syllable, and in instructional is in the second too.
Okay.
I agree.
You agree? Okay. And what about the next one? By the way, compound is one of those words in which you change or you shift the stress from one syllable to another to signal a different part of a speech, meaning compound used as a noun and compound as a verb, by the way.
Interesting is like with the word research and research.
Exactly. Suspect and suspect, convict and convict. import and import. Exactly. Just the shift of the primary stress signals a different part of speech. So a compound, usually a noun, and compound, a verb. So if you're using this ing as a verb, there's a high probability that the stress should be placed in the second syllable and not in the first one. Meaning compounding their silence. Okay. And the instruction of the last word you mentioned?
In the second one, I think.
Okay. Instructional. I do agree with you guys. What do you think? Any mistake?
Professor?
Mm-hmm.
Could you say the word it's compounding? For me, it's a tricky pronunciation.
Compounding. But I would shift the primary stress. I will use a schwa in the first syllable because I'm shifting the stress to the next syllable. So compound. Right? In compounding, because I would use compound as the verb and not as compound as a noun.
Okay. Compound.
Compound is a noun.
Yes.
And yeah. So okay. I would definitely change this to compounding. Like that. And research, I would definitely place the primary stress right? Search for a noun.
Teacher, is there too much difference in that word? For example, if we pronounce like research instead of research. I understand anyway, so I think that it's not important for me.
No, there's no difference. I mean, other speakers will understand if you say research or research when you are using the word as a noun. Research or research. I have heard it with the stress in both syllables being used as a noun. So it's actually something completely unimportant, right?
Yeah, because it's hard to remember. For me, at least.
Yeah, but in the case of other words, like the ones that I mentioned, convict and convict, suspect and suspect, export and export, it makes a difference because you are using a noun and a verb in a specific context in which one specific part of speech needs to be used. It's like if you say in Spanish, el sospechoso está fuera de la cárcel. El sospechoso, instead of saying sospechoso, you use the verb sospechar. El sospechar está fuera de la cárcel. El sospechar está fuera de la cárcel. El sospechoso está fuera de la cárcel. So that is more or less the difference if you say the suspect is out of the jail or the suspect is out of a jail. So in that case, it's very important the where you place the primary stress, or in other words, words like inside and inside. Inside, it's one thing, and inside is a different one. The spelling for each one of the words in the chat. Inside, the first one, inside, the second one. Different words, as you can see. And only the stress makes a difference. All right. I'm sorry for taking so much of your time. If you don't have any comments or questions, we should be leaving the session up to here. Anyone has any questions before we part our ways?
Teacher, I remember that you say you have a task for us, and it's not a start. We do not have to do anything.
Not now because of the time, but we can take a look at the task next session, which I believe is on Friday. Is that right? No. On Thursday. On Tuesday. On Thursday. Right. On Thursday. Can you remind me of the task, Jolie, please?
Of course, no problem. I will.
Okay. Can you remind Daniela of the task, please?
And me, please.
Okay.
It's not the text, right?
Jolie, can you remind everyone of the task, please?
Much better.
I don't got the question. Yes. Or what I have to do.
What task? I didn't remember a task.
No, when I don't know. It's like when when we were about to read the text that you present us. Can you go back, please? Can you go a little bit back with the presentation?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the text that we had to choose.
Yes. That, but he said that he have a task for us. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just talking thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
okay, it's okay. Just forget it.
I think I understand, Jolie. All right. Yes, I think if you're referring to the text that you were supposed to send or bring to the class, I would love to use it for next class, particularly, you know, to have a short review session about lexical stress and syllabification, but also with the next content that has to do with strong and weak forms. So yes, keep those handy because I have a folder with some of them, with the ones that some of you sent me, in order to use material that might be interesting for you. So yes, we're going to use those texts for next session on Thursday. All right. So keep them handy, please. I have some of yours, but not everyone, because not everyone sent me the one-page Word file. So if you have them, be ready to share them next session on Thursday. All right.
Okay.
Alrighty. So I'll be seeing you on Thursday. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, teacher. Have a nice day.